I done ran up all these bands up in hand and made like 5 bands a day. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, there ain't no stopping me. I done ran up all these bands up in hand and made like 5 bands a day. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, there ain't no stopping me. It ain't no stopping me. Got bands, I'ma run it up, it ain't no stopping me.
Is moving forward with experiments to dim the sun. This will carry out controversial programs in what's known as solar geoengineering. These are concepts being developed
we there? Can you guys hear me? Are we there? You guys hear me?
To reduce the amount of sunlight that
Sorry about that, guys. We're having some technical difficulties. I'm going to go back a few seconds to make sure you guys can hear me. Sorry about that, guys. We're having some technical difficulties.
Experiments to dim the sun. This will carry out controversial programs in what's known as solar geoengineering. These are concepts being developed to reduce the amount of sunlight that reaches the Earth. ARIA, the UK government's advanced research and invention funding agency, has been approved to set aside £50 million, which is about $66 million USD for these plans. There have been a few major proposals on solar geoengineering over the years. This ranges anywhere from using chemicals to make clouds more reflective, to lessen the amount of sunlight, to even launching large barriers into space that can reduce the amount of sunlight that can reach the Earth. If this sounds far-fetched, remember, there were already experiments like this conducted in Mexico a couple years back. Researchers were effectively inspired by the 1991 volcanic eruption of Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines. That sent massive amounts of sulfur dioxide into the air. It had the effect of reducing sunlight. Some scientists want to replicate that effect artificially, and they tried it out on a small scale. The programs ended up being so controversial that Mexico banned these types of experiments.
So you can see Mexico banned these experiments. Oh my goodness, hold on. Mexico previously was doing similar experiments, but they had the sense of, okay, we're playing with fire here. We're playing God here. This might not be the best move. Let's ban it before this gets out of hand. And sorry about that, guys. I was having some technical difficulties. I wish someone would have let me know in the chat that you couldn't hear me. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, I think we should be on this. You guys should be, my audio should be good now. I don't know how much of the intro you guys caught, but ultimately, before I got into the video, what I was trying to explain was the fact that, and just sort of level setting the room, the UK has taken it upon themselves to unilaterally dim the sun. They haven't put it up for a vote. They haven't gone around to the United Nations and asked every country what they thought. They didn't have a plebiscite even within the European Union. The UK just unilaterally decided, yeah, climate change is an issue. How about we try dimming the sun? Let's just try, see what happens. Yeah, some plants might be affected, some animals might be affected, some humans might be affected. But hey, we got to do something. It's worth the risk without any input. And what I was trying to say before I played the clip, I didn't know that you guys were having trouble hearing me with the audio. But the point that I was making was the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. I was going to make this a Bible in the News series. Y'all know I have my Bible in the News series. For any of my believers out there, be sure to check out the Bible in the News series, where I break down a lot of esoteric meanings behind it that's hidden in the Bible. So y'all can check out the Bitten series, Bible in the News series. But I am of the belief, I am of the opinion that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. And the Most High God has given us a mandate. He's given us a responsibility. He's given us a task, which is to exercise dominion over the planet, subdue it, and rule over it. We're supposed to be stewards of this planet. He has given us this garden, this planet, this earth. And it is our responsibility to take care of it and the animals thereon. And yet, under this new world order that we're currently living in and transitioning to, in the past 60 years, over 70% of the animals, the species on planet Earth, have been lost. According to AI, since 1970, there have been 73% average decline in the size of monitored wildlife populations globally. That means on average, the populations of mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, and fish have decreased by 73% since 1970. Decrease, gone extinct, gone. 73% decrease of the animals, plants, and wildlife in the past 60 years. And what do? We're doubling down on our folly. We haven't done enough, according to the UK, as if these Europeans haven't done enough to destroy the planet. Instead of rectifying their systems which are currently destroying the planet, they'd rather double down on their folly and make decisions that influence the entire world, the entire planet, and all of the species therein. As if they're God, as if they have some special authority, as if they've been given permission to do something as drastic as dimming the sun. And you don't get a vote. What if you don't want the sun to be dimmed? What if you like the sun? Too bad. The UK has spoken. The Europeans have spoken. They got a God complex. Seriously. The fact that nobody's talking about this is amazing. And let me show you, when they say, oh, well, climate change is bad and we're doing this to change lives, this is not the way. Let me show you what the way is. Let me show you something. Y'all check this out.
The engine can also...
This is a water-powered car that was invented back in 1974. And I'm going to tell you why this isn't more popular.
The engine can also power a generator, to provide light and heat. And what's more, it's pollution-free.
And what's more, it's pollution free.
Over 1,000 miles, and the promoters say the scheme is practical and a commercial proposition.
It's affordable, it's practical, and it goes farther than the Tesla without a recharge.
On tap, in fact. An ordinary day in an ordinary supermarket.
And this car was built and designed back in 1974. A car that was designed and powered by water. And let me tell you why we don't have more. The Europeans think that this capitalistic system that they've created is so great. They think, oh, well, look at all the things that have been produced. We have Teslas and smartphones. And I would submit to you that we would be further as a species if it wasn't for this every man for itself, this hyper individualistic capitalistic system. See, this capitalistic system was designed and tied to race through the system of white supremacy. This system that we are currently operating in is designed to have winners and losers. And thanks to the system of white supremacy, the group which has been designated the losers is the melanated group, and the group that is designated the winners is the pale or the melanin deficient group. And in order to maintain this system, in order to maintain this dynamic, we can't have a system that works in harmony with the planet. The corporations would fail. See, the corporations which exacerbate, the corporations which feed off of the division, they cannot allow these threats to their power. It's deep. It's deep. They would be willing to sacrifice us all. They would be willing to sacrifice us all, to destroy the planet altogether, rather than lose $1. Huh? Rather than take a look at this economic system which puts profits over lives, puts money over the health of our planet and our species. In order to maintain this capitalistic system, we have to suppress brilliant ideas like a water-powered car created 60 years ago. We can't talk about that. We can't have those moving throughout society freely. We've got to kill the inventors. We've got to silence them by any means necessary in order to maintain this capitalistic system. Because a car that runs off of water is bad for the bottom line. If we have a car that's running off of water, do we really need to be involved in these wars in the Middle East? That's just something to think about. That's just something to think about. So what the capitalists are doing in order to maintain this system of winners and losers, they're willing to sacrifice us all. All right? They're willing to sacrifice us all to maintain this current system of power. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's destined to fail. And we're seeing the fight for the New World Order. We're entering that time period now. And we can see the differences of approach that the Europeans in the West and the Asians in the East are taking. All right. So when we look at the West, when we look at countries like the UK, they're planning on dimming the sun to combat climate change. They're making decisions that are going to affect the entire planet. And a lot of people are pushing back. People like myself are making videos and talking about how, hey, who gave you the power to make these decisions for all of us that have not been proven, that have not been justified or voted on or thoroughly discussed by the public? Who's giving you guys the authority to make these decisions by yourself? We're not seeing the direct benefits of doing something as drastic as dimming the sun. Whereas when we look at these Eastern countries, when we look at countries like, let's start with China, for example, we see something very different. Uh-oh. There we go. See, China is erasing deserts from its map. So far, 65 million miles of desert has been greened. So, while countries, and this is just one example with China, the UAE is doing something similar. Let's not forget about Libya and under Gaddafi's leadership before the West, again, under the leadership of Barack Obama, destroyed the richest country in Africa. Before Barack Obama destroyed Libya, destroyed the richest country in Africa, Colonel Gaddafi was doing something similar. He built what was considered the eighth wonder of the world, bringing the river to the desert. These are practical changes that are bettering the lives of humans here today in the immediate future, giving them the ability to farm their lands, feed their families here and now. Something sustainable. Something sustainable. The long-term effects are we have more arable land, less famine, we have less starvation. Things that the people can unite and get behind. But when you tell the people, I want to dim the sun, you're going to dim the sun. How does that help us feed our families? How does that help us fight off famine? You're dimming the sun for who? For all of us? For the entire world? Surely there are some places in the world that would benefit from the sun the way it is. Who gives the UK the authority to make such a decision for the entire planet? I can see making local decisions to influence and better the lives of your people. But to make a decision that's going to influence the entire planet, again, these Europeans with their God complex. And when we look at the response they have to the Eastern countries or even African countries, like I mentioned, Libya, they're hostile to the people who are actually doing some good here in their regions of the world. Let's never forget how America, in particular, President Barack Obama, treated Libya and Colonel Gaddafi. Y'all remember this?
Know that beneath the desert floor lies a hidden treasure worth trillions of dollars. It's fresh water, and one man had a vision to unleash its potential. Introducing the Great Man-Made River, the largest construction project in history. After 40 years of hard work, this epic project delivered pure water to all of Africa. Imagine free land, water, seeds, farm, house, tractors, and livestock for anyone who wanted to start an organic farm. It was a game changer, thanks to a great man with a mission to end starvation and poverty across Africa. Pure, ancient, and pristine water transformed deserts into thriving organic farms. It was a monumental project of epic proportions. But did you know that the Western media rarely tells you about this incredible achievement? That's right. The Greater Man-Made River was a remarkable gift to Africans from Muammar Gaddafi. However, when it was finally completed, the United States blew it up with depleted uranium bombs.
Blew it up with depleted uranium bombs. That's how the West, that's how the United States in particular has treated folks like Muammar Gaddafi, who was doing something good for the people of their region. Bringing water to the deserts in North Africa. Creating a gold-backed dinar so that to lift millions of starving Africans out of poverty. And how do we treat them? So don't people ask me, oh, why haven't you made a video on Traore yet? You know what, man? Don't even get me started, because I'm don't even get me started, man. Look at how they did the people. Look at how they did Muammar Gaddafi. And you want me to get excited about Traore? I invested money in Colonel Gaddafi and his gold-backed dinar. I invested money in that dinar, only to have the people of his own country go and kill him. And you want me to trust? Okay. Yeah. I want to see y'all talk about Traore. I want to see y'all. Let me see the Africans stand up and protect Traore. Because so far, every time an African leader emerges who has any type of care or love for his own people, it be his own people that are his downfall. So y'all don't even get me started on that.
Shocking, right? But do you know why they killed Gaddafi and destroyed this great project? Because if Africa had access to water, it would become a leading exporter of food, challenging America's dominance in the market. It threatened their economy. So remember, there's more to the story than what you hear in the news. The Great Man-Made River was a symbol of hope and progress, a testament to what we can achieve when we come together.
See, now the U.S. is used to sending couple bags of rice to Africa, and they feel like, and they can get welcomed with open arms for being the great saviors who brought rice. But see, what they can't have is water being brought to the desert so people can feed themselves. People can grow their own rice, grow their own potatoes, have their own crops and food, their own agricultural land. That's what they don't want. That's what they don't want. And that's what they've actively have a history of actively destroying. And people are not forgetting. People are not going to forget. I'm not going to forget. And people are recognizing the pattern. Luckily, shout out to Julius Malema. He spoke on it before. Y'all remember when he said this, and he directly and correctly identifies the problem as being the West, the Europeans in particular in this situation, Barack Obama, who was half European, by the way.
Gaddafi. And then nothing has happened. We are here today with the, and then Obama killed Gaddafi. And then nothing has happened. We are here today with Libya being destroyed and unable to recover because of America. We know very well that where NATO gets involved, those are terrorists. We know very well where the US says we are going in to install peace. That place will never know peace as long as America has visited that place. And then Obama killed Gaddafi. And then nothing has happened.
He said that place will never know peace as long as the Americans are involved. And yet we're supposed to trust these same people with the future of our planet. We're supposed to trust these people with the protection of the species of this earth. That's talk about a leap of faith. Talk about a leap of faith. I don't have that much faith in the Europeans. I don't have it. I don't trust that dimming the sun is going to have the outcome they're anticipating. Let's just say that I've seen some unforeseen consequences. I'm betting on the unforeseen consequences. All right. But you know what? One thing about it, and I've been saying this for the longest, one thing about it, no need to panic, because they are going to end up solving, call it the problem solver. They're going to end this whole situation with racism and all of that. Don't worry, that's on its way out. This whole situation of the system of white supremacy, there's still holdovers from that. Yeah, that's dying. That's all going to die out. And I'll tell you why. The planet is going to destroy it. It's going to destroy the system of white supremacy. Black folks, we're not doing anything about it. We're not doing anything about it. Black folks have accepted it. We're too comfortable. We're too comfortable. We had a chance at it in the 60s, but after that, our people here in America have been so diluted. They've been infiltrated by all these outside groups. Our unity has been decimated, and right now we're trying to get ourselves back on track. We're pushing this delineation movement. We're trying to get ourselves back on track, but I think it's too little, too late. I think it's too little, too late. We're at the finish line, guys. We're quickly approaching the finish line. We're quickly approaching those last days that's spoken of in the book of Revelation by Daniel on the island of Patmos. We're quickly approaching those days, and this is why I was going to make this a Bible in the News segment, because there's a lot of scripture I wanted to sort of dive into. I wanted to dive into Leviticus. In the book of Leviticus, the Lord gives us an outline of how we should treat the land. He says that we should cultivate the land for 6 years, and on the 7th year we should give the land that we were promised, the promised land, a rest year, a jubilee. The Lord gives us a recipe. He gives us a formula for operating in harmony with the land, with the planet. And somewhere along the way, we lost our ability to live in harmony with the planet. And we become, as a species, parasites on this earth. Instead of protecting the environment, protecting the animals and the species thereon that the Creator has placed here with us, instead of being a good steward of the species that the Creator has given us. You know what we did? We enslaved them. We enslaved the chickens, put them on farms where they do nothing but get them fat, stick them with steroids, inject all types of drugs into the chicken, so you can go to Chick-fil-A on Saturday and get a big chicken sandwich. We enslaved the cows. Keeping them pregnant after pregnant after pregnant. You think that cows just produce milk for no reason? No, we're injecting stuff into these cows, hormones, to make sure that they're fertile. We're putting all types of chemicals and hormones into these cows, into these animals, into these slaves. We've enslaved the creatures that God has given us, that God has placed on this planet. We've enslaved them. We enslaved the chickens, we enslaved the cows, we enslaved the fish. They got fish farms where fish are just swimming and can barely swim in a circle. The fish farms are so overcrowded. We've enslaved all the species on this planet. We've enslaved the fish. We've enslaved the chickens. We've enslaved the cows. We threw the biggest, baddest gorillas into zoos, put them in captivity. Animals that once roamed the oceans, like beluga whales and orcas. We take the orcas and teach them tricks. We put them in little exhibits y'all call SeaWorld. We enslaved creatures that used to roam the oceans, the ocean blue. There's more water on this planet than there is land. And we're going to take the big species, the apex predator. We're going to take the apex predator outside of its natural environment and have it jumping through rings for a fish. And we're going to clap as if it's cute. We're going to take our kids and clap as if it's cute. We've enslaved all the animals that we've come in contact with on this planet, and then we look and wonder why we've done it to each other. And wonder why humans can have the heart to do it to each other to this day. Because mind you, let's not get into how the Africans are still being treated in North Africa today on their own continent. We have no problem enslaving the chickens and the cows and the fish, the tuna. We have no problem enslaving the orcas. So then when you look at North Africa and you see the Tunisians and the Ethiopians and the Nigerians getting sold as slaves in Libya, getting sold as slaves in Algeria, all of a sudden that's where you draw the line, huh? Because that's where you want to draw the line, huh? Okay, yeah. Right. I bet. So the moral of the story is we've done a horrible job of being stewards over this planet that the Most High has given us. He's given us one planet. He's given us countless species to watch over. He's given us one sun and one moon. And we're over here, we're ready. When I say we, the Europeans are ready to dim the sun without any input from anybody else. They don't care what the Africans think about it. They're not asking China what their concerns are with dimming the sun. No, the Europeans have decided to unilaterally dim the sun. And the rest of us just gotta eat it. Basically. And guess what we're gonna do? Eat it. Because folks not gonna do nothing about it. People not gonna do nothing about it. I haven't really seen that too many people even speaking on it. Most people have accepted it or won't even know that it's happening until it's too late. Most people are going to justify it. Well, climate change is real. At least they're trying to do something. Do something, my pinky toe. If they wanted to do something, why not start here? If you're so anxious to do something, why not start here? A water-powered car was invented in 1974. And yet we've got these big, and yet we're fighting wars over oil. When cars can be run, since 1974, cars could be run on water and hydrogen. And yet we're fighting wars over oil. Make that make sense. If y'all are so interested in protecting the planet, if UK is so interested in protecting the planet, why is it that their starting point is dimming the sun? Your starting point isn't, hey, how about we reduce our dependency on oil and carbon dioxide? How about we reduce our dependency on burning coal? How about we reduce our energy dependence by using alternative renewable fuel sources. No? No? Yeah, let's just dim the sun. That sounds easier. No, see, the Europeans, they can't have it both ways. They want to maintain this capitalistic system. They want to maintain the capitalistic system because the capitalistic system has been tied to winners and losers. It's been tied to race through the system of white supremacy. So they want to maintain this system that allows their group to be on top and the melanated groups to be on the bottom. And in order to maintain that system, they would kill inventors who create cars that can be powered by water. They would kill inventors who would bring water to the desert by sucking it straight out of the air. They would kill the inventors who are a legitimate threat, who have the cures to things like AIDS. I'm looking at you, Dr. Sebi. Anything that really and significantly affects their bottom line, inventors who are able to create water-powered cars, inventors who are able to cure diseases and not just manage the symptoms, inventors who are able to better the entire society for the entire human population, those people are silenced in an effort to maintain the system of winners and losers. See, but they see that system that is going to prioritize gas-powered cars over water-powered cars, that system that is going to prioritize managing the pain symptoms of having cancer and AIDS instead of prioritizing the holistic cures such as those created by folks like Dr. Sebi. They're prioritizing the sickness. They're prioritizing the thing that is destroying the planet. And when folks recognize, hey, y'all are destroying our planet, what's their solution? Well, instead of changing the system, instead of addressing the system, instead of addressing the root cause of what is destroying the planet, they're going to address the symptoms. Well, the planet's getting hotter. So what should we do? We should dim the sun. No, fool. How about you stop releasing all of these toxins into our atmosphere? How about that? Let's start there. Let's start there. But no, that would be too difficult. That would be too difficult. Because that would actually have an effect on the bottom line. That would have an effect on these corporations' budgets. That would have an effect on these CEO retirement plans, billion-dollar buyouts, and their yearly projected earnings. See, they don't want that. The Europeans would much rather take the easy route. Yeah, we're going to dim the sun without asking for anyone's input. Talk about a God complex. Can you imagine the scientists who are just sitting there in a room? Crazy. Well, listen, guys, if y'all got any value from watching tonight's video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. We were off to a slow start today. I was having some technical difficulties, but I hope you guys did find some value in watching. As always, hit the thumbs up button on your way out. And if you haven't done so already, smash the subscribe button for more content just like this. I'm going to start doing some daytime lives. You know, usually I wait for the nighttime, but my schedule's starting to shift a little bit. And I'm going to start doing some daytime lives so y'all can catch me at different times. We're going to find out what works for the viewers. So once again, if you got any value, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I'm going to see you in the next one. Okay.
For these bands up in hand and made like 5 bands a day. I was broke, came up with a plan, now I'm the man, there ain't no stopping me. I ran up all these bands up in hand and made like 5 bands a day. I was broke,